honest, those numbers, we just kick some ass.
Also happening tonight, election night, the special election for one large district in southwest Jefferson County. Low voter turnout on this cold December Tuesday, but a decisive victory for Democrat Gary Clemons. The race for Kentucky's vacant 37th Senate district seat was called for Clemens just an hour after the polls closed at 6 o'clock tonight. Clemens, an Army veteran and local labor union president, defeated Republican Calvin Leach and the Libertarian Wendy Higdon. Clemens winning 73% of the vote, Leach with 25%, Higdon with 2% tonight. Now, here's a look at Kentucky's 37th Senate district. You can see from the map we're talking about a pretty large area of southwest Jefferson County, which includes Shively, PRP, Valley Station, and even some part of Fairdale. Well, the special election drew a low 7% turnout with cold weather and Christmas just days away. Just about 5,200 voters casting their ballots. Regardless, this seat matters, with 2026 being a budget year for Kentucky. WHAS 11's political reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Levi Hammer are reporting from Louisville's South End.
A special election night victory for Louisville Democrat Gary Clemons, with a small voter turnout but a landslide win after more than 5,000 votes were cast. The local labor union president is now set to represent southwest Jefferson County in the Kentucky Senate, dominated by Republicans.
I know it's going to be hard. You know, obviously, I keep hearing we're outnumbered, but by God, everybody in this room has been outnumbered a time or two in our life, so we'll prevail.
Clemens winning 73% of the vote in a sprint of a 2-month race for the state Senate seat left open by popular Democrat David Yates, in a district Democrats have won for years. It's the same district where Kamala Harris beat Donald Trump by 5 points in last year's presidential election. Clemens defeating Republican Calvin Leach by nearly 50.
There's a movement going on right now that resonates with working people.
Clemens, who leads the Louisville chapter of the United Steelworkers, says he's going to represent the working class in Frankfort, starting with next year's budget session. He pledges to work to bring back funding for the South End.
The money needs to come to that district that's needed.
Medicaid will be a major issue for state lawmakers in 2026, figuring out how to adjust its budget after funding cuts on the federal level. Some Republican leaders have said they'll take a closer look at who's eligible, especially in the expansion population. We asked Clemens for his stance.
Hopefully we don't touch it. It needs to be there for everybody. You know, I will fight as hard as I can to make sure that that's not touched. It shouldn't be touched.
The political newcomer got the support of Governor Andy Beshear, along with influential groups like the Fairness Campaign, a prominent LGBTQ+ advocacy group. Executive Director Chris Hartman was at Clemens' victory celebration. At one of the polling locations, Beth Troy, who voted for Clemens, told me that protecting trans rights is a top issue for her.
That's a big motivator for me, just treating people as human beings.
I asked Clemens about that. Will you fight for trans rights in Frankfort?
I would say that, you know, I fight with everybody the same. And in all my facilities, you know, I've got trans, I've got the LGBTQ community, and we treat everybody the same. And as you know, as long as they're treated the same, everybody's going to get the same shake.
Now, Libertarian Senate candidate Wendy Higdon said, quote, "Congrats to Senate-elect Gary Clemons. I hope you continue to work earnestly for your community and look forward to discussing foster care and education with my new senator," end quote. Jefferson County Republican Party, by the way, we contacted them. They have not yet issued a statement. Isaiah Kim Martinez is joining me here now to talk about the special election. Now, Governor Andy Beshear attending the rally. We saw him in the video there with Clemens, and we really haven't seen the governor personally showing up to many of these events. We've always wondered about his coattails in Kentucky.
Well, Doug, not for specific candidates, certainly not. And there are questions, right? If just because folks voted for Governor Beshear, I actually talked to a Republican today who voted for Governor Beshear, but then voted for the Republican candidate here. It was in fact actually David Yates, from voters I talked to, that it was his name, his recognition, according to those voters, that had more of an impact on folks saying, okay, if he is somebody who I agree with or who I like, I'm going to vote for someone within the same party, who in this case was obviously Gary Clemons.
Has Clemens heard from the governor tonight?
He says he got a text from the governor congratulating him, and as well as posts on social media, which is pretty typical.
All right, a December special election. Thank you, Isaiah.